Let's make 猪扒菜飯, Shanghainese pork chops with vegetable rice.
The best version of this dish could be eaten at Delicious Kitchen in Causeway Bay. I ate at this restaurant over 20 years, but sadly it didn't survive COVID. So to pay homage to this fabulous restaurant, let's make this recipe. Wash some short grain rice. This could be Calros or Japanese varieties. Make sure you don't wash the rice in the internal part of your rice cooker because you'll end up scratching the non-stick coating. For vegetables, you can choose between the greener Shanghainese bok choy, which has a stronger and, let's say, greener flavor, and a normal bok choy, which has a more mellow flavor. Since Delicious Kitchen used the normal bok choy, we're gonna go with that today. Roughly chop up the vegetables. It doesn't have to be too exact. Having a variety of textures will make this dish even more delightful. In terms of portion reference, for 2 cups of rice, I've used 300 grams of vegetables. I've now placed my washed rice into the rice cooker and I filled up the water just under the 2-cup mark. This is because when the bok choy cooks, a lot of the water will come out of it and help cook the rice as well. So to avoid having an overcooked or mushy rice, I've filled up the water just a little bit less than the mark. When the rice is cooked for about 10 minutes, I'm going to open the lid and mix the vegetables with the rice. Then I'm going to close the lid and let the rice cooker continue its program. Now you can prepare the pork chops. I'm using a piece of pork loin that has been cut quite thickly. That way I can proceed to tenderize by using the back of my knife, chop, 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 and that loosens the meat fibers. You then get a thinner piece of meat, which can be cooked faster, and the pork won't dry out in the process. For the marinade, a little first draw soy sauce, a little Shaoxing wine, sesame oil, white pepper, a little bit of sugar, and a teaspoon of cornstarch. Mix that up nicely, then add an egg. The egg and the cornstarch will help seal up the juices in the pork chop, so when it cooks, it won't dry out. Marinate for about 10 to 15 minutes. Put some oil in a pan and heat to about medium-high heat. Gently place the pork chop into the pan. When you place the pork chop into the pan, you can put it away from yourself so that the oil doesn't splash onto you. I like to use the hot oil and baste it onto the top of the pork chop. This way the marinade and the egg set into place, and when I flip it, it's not going to spurt and I won't get injured. After about 4 minutes, flip it and cook it on the other side for about 4 to 5 minutes. Place it on top of a wire rack over a plate so that the oil can drip down. To check if the pork is cooked through, you can stab it and see if the liquid runs clear. If it's got a little red in it, cook it some more. What made this pork chop so special is Delicious Kitchen used to put a layer of golden syrup on top of the pork chop. Then you get that perfect bite of sweet and savory. I'd like to thank you for watching Chinglish Cooking Club and also for allowing me to recreate this dish and share the legend that was Delicious Kitchen. If you have any dishes that you want me to recreate on this YouTube channel, please let me know. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. The condiments are Chinese black vinegar, zhangongchou, and daobanjiang, a fermented yellow bean and chili sauce that's packed full of garlicky flavor.
The flavor is just right, not too salty. Do you know why? Because in the daobanjiang, there's a little bit of salt in there, so the flavor will even out.
Thanks again for watching, and make some pork chops and vegetable rice.